Now, when people look at my channel, they'd be excused to think that I'm only reviewing Harper wings, but that's far from the case. What we are mainly reviewing is of course Scale 500, but given that there just aren't that many Scale 500 manufacturers, well, we often end up with Harper wings models. But back in the day, Sky 500 was around and they made this brilliant little freighter that I've had in my collection for quite some time, and I think we should take a look at today. So with that, hello and welcome to a new episode of Review, where we today will take a closer look at a Boeing 777-200F of Thai Cargo. At the front of the box we have a cutout, so we can get a glimpse of the aircraft model inside. We have the Sky 500 branding and then, well, the specification clearly just added on as a sticker. But the backside of the box, well, it doesn't get much better. It's not that really inspiring a box design that we have here, and yet it is still so much better than what Harper is producing nowadays. I mean, yeah, that says a lot. And here she is, the Boeing 777-200F in the colors of Thai Cargo. The model was created by Sky 500 back in 2010, and that was also the time when we could actually see the aircraft like this in real life, because the aircraft was operated by Southern Air and only flew around like this until around August 2011, when the aircraft returned into Southern Air/DHL services. So for sure a short-lived chapter in the aviation history, but luckily we got a model out of it that we can still enjoy today. Or can we? Well, we will figure out what the model actually has to offer by simply taking a closer look at it. And we start our tour around the aircraft model with a look at the tail section. Here on the vertical stabilizer we find the slogan, "Always deliver the best." On the fuselage, we then find a multitude of details. Firstly, we have the full registration code of the aircraft, the aircraft type specification, and the web address of Thai Cargo. But also notice here, for example, some lovely details with the angle of attack markings, or for example, the main cargo hatch. And what we should also not forget is to look at the horizontal stabilizers, where we also have some printed details. Just like at the very tail of the aircraft, where we then find some printed details around the APU exhaust. Now, on top of the fuselage, we don't find physical antennas, but Sky 500 did add them in print, which I think is quite lovely. And from there, we can then move on to the very front of the aircraft. Here across the fuselage, we then have the writing of Cargo and again, the web address of Thai Cargo. Now, with Harper wings, that would probably have been it, but notice here how many small details we actually have in print here on the side of the fuselage. Small hatches, small sensors, stuff like that just adds a lot to an aircraft model. And also notice how many details they actually added to the front cabin door. Now, this is how you make an otherwise perhaps a little bit dull freighter look quite exciting, even in Scale 500. Now, the cockpit section itself could definitely also have benefited from some petro tubes or other kinds of static ports, but we do at least have the cockpit windows and very nicely added the window wipers. And to be honest, with the amounts of detail already on the side of the aircraft, I'm not complaining about missing petro tubes here. Now, the engine nacelles have been kept in all white, just as most of the fuselage, and we don't really have many details here, but the real aircraft itself also doesn't really have a lot going on there. The only thing really missing here is maybe a safety marking, but we have the silver leading edge printed on, at least that. And the physical detailing itself is actually, I think, also quite alright. It looks quite good here from the backside. The front, well, unfortunately, they use the same color for the silver leading edge as well as the engine fan blades. I think that could have been better with a darker gray color for the fan blades, but it's still alright. But let's move on to the wings, which you should definitely also take a closer look at, starting over the top side, where we have the different flap slats and spoilers carved out, but that is very clearly drowned away by the grey paint of the wings. The underside of the wings has some nice physical detailing, but we're still looking far and wide for any exciting printed details. That we, however, get on the wings when we look here at the front, because we have the landing lights printed on. That is a big plus for me. Then we have the landing gear, and I think Sky 500 has overall actually done a pretty decent job with this. They have clearly put in some effort, adding some different details, using some different colors with the parts of the landing gear. The only thing I found a bit strange was the front landing gear. It kind of looks like the wheel is losing its color, but I've had the model for so long that I don't remember if it already looked like this when I originally bought it, or if this has happened over time. But what I really do like is that we have some printed details at the front landing gear. That always looks really nice. Now, on the belly of the aircraft we find a whole hole in the fuselage for a stand, which at least when I bought it from a retailer was not included, but if that originally was included, then of course it makes more sense. Still, I prefer my aircraft models without these ridiculous holes. And then last but not least, we do have the remaining doors to the cargo compartments printed on here at the back of the aircraft, and also here at the front of the aircraft. So there we have it, the Boeing 777-200F in the colors of Thai Cargo from Sky 500 in scale 1 to 500. And what can we say about this aircraft model? Well, when I look at this aircraft model, it just once again makes me sad that it looks like we have lost Sky 500 during the pandemic, as they haven't released anything in ages now. Because this is a really lovely model. Is it the perfect scale 500 model? By no means. There are some things that could be improved. But overall, it is such a lovely scale 500 model. It's definitely a higher standard than what we get from Hapag nowadays. And therefore, it's a no-brainer for me. If you like the airline, if you like some different freighters, and definitely a freighter with some detailing, then this aircraft model is definitely worth having in one's collection. Now with that, we have reached the end of today's episode. If you have enjoyed this video, then don't forget to leave a like, that would be very much appreciated. And of course, if you are new around here, why not hit subscribe? That would be absolutely awesome. With that, thanks so much for watching, hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.